Why does business feel so hard sometimes? I hear that a lot. And I want to let you know that it's not you. You're not lazy, you're not broken, and it certainly is not a signal that you're not cut out for this. All that's happening is that you are a human being and your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do, which is to keep you safe. So stay with me because in the next 6 minutes, I'm going to give you a 60-second reset tip that I give my clients and 3 fixes to help you stop your brain from going into that space and telling you that story that business is hard. I had a season in my life where I was getting up, I was doing things, I had my coffee, I had my books out, I had my reach out lists. And within the first hour, I was suddenly exhausted. And I would sit there wondering, what on earth is going on? Am I the problem here? Am I not meant for this? Why does everything feel like a struggle? And that was when I had a really big insight and a breakthrough actually in my business. When I understood that I was simply acting contrary to what my brain felt was familiar and normal, then I was able to implement techniques that changed everything for me and moved my business from feeling like a heavy load that I was carrying into something that now gives me abundance, freedom, and joy. So let's break down why does business feel so hard, and then I'm going to show you exactly what to do with that. There's three main things going on when we're in the space of business feels like heavy lifting. The first thing that happens is an energy and focus drain. The brain is designed for high efficient work and focus on one task at a time. So when we're task switching, too many tabs open, too much distraction, we literally just run out of energy. The working memory doesn't have enough energy to carry us through the day. So let's stop right now and do a quick reset so that you can stay available for the rest of this video and learn the tools I'm going to teach you. So first of all, do it with me. Unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, take a big breath in and exhale. I certainly feel better. If you did that with me, I'm guessing you felt better as well. The second thing that's happening is a threat response. Business is uncertain and the brain reacts to uncertainty as though it was a threat. The amygdala fires, the nervous system goes into survival mode, and suddenly you feel tense, overwhelmed, and in some cases completely frozen, which in business looks like procrastination or postponing tasks. And this is a normal thing that the brain does when it's faced with uncertainty. The third thing that is happening is something that's known as identity friction. Our brains are designed to move us forward in alignment with what we believe our identity is. And in fact, our brains will do everything they can to keep us aligned with our identity, which means that if you have an identity statement of being everything to everyone in your business, that you are it and you are the go to, your brain is naturally going to resist you when you want to be the CEO of a business and delegate tasks and move things around and run things. Your brain will resist you. So, the important thing here to do, and this is what I'm going to teach you to do, is how to reframe your identity so that you rewire your identity matrix in your head. And then what will happen is your brain will just take you in the direction of where you want to go because it wants to be right about the new identity. And then, right after the third fix, that I'm going to share with you, then I'm going to give you the 60-second reset and we're going to practice it together. And this is gold for my clients. So, what are the 3 fixes for the 3 problems? 3 fixes, 3 problems. The first one for energy drain and overwhelm is to simplify to the 20%. 80% of your results are already only coming from 20% of your activities. So, the first step is to sit down and make a list of those things that you do during the day and circle the top 3 that give you the most results based on where you're going with your business. And then you commit to doing those 3. Protect time for them, and anything that's not in those top 3 that's still on your list either gets deleted or delegated or simply doesn't get as much of your attention as it used to before. And watch what happens with your energy when you're just focusing on the things that actually move the needle. Why? Because when you do those things and get results, your brain is going to give you back some dopamine, and that's going to help keep you energized and focused throughout the day. The second thing that you want to learn how to do is to learn how to regulate your nervous system. This is probably one of the most important things that you can do throughout the day. In fact, I do this on a regular basis throughout the day. Anytime that I notice that I am feeling anxious or overwhelmed or a little bit stressed in the day or a little bit unfocused. And the most simple technique that I have found to use in this space is box breathing. And it's so simple. We can do it together again. So breathe in for the count of 4 and then hold the breath for 4 and then exhale for 4 and hold it for 4. And just by doing it once, you'll notice that everything starts to change. Your heart rate starts to regulate, your body softens, and you can do this as many times as you like in a row until you really bring your nervous system back into normal regulation. And you can do it multiple times a day. Having to do that is not actually a problem. What that is you demonstrating a skill. It's the equivalent of drinking water when you're thirsty or eating when you're hungry. To learn the skill of doing that is very powerful. And what will happen is your nervous system will start over time. You're going to rewire your brain so that your nervous system starts to learn and associate calmness and even tone in your nervous system with your work and your business. Then the third thing to do is to rewire your identity. Now, identity is nothing more than a set of agreements that we've made about who we believe we are and how we believe the world works in relation to us and how we work in relation to the world. And so to reframe your identity is about choosing first off to imagine who you want to be in an ideal state in your business. The brain doesn't differentiate between remembering who you have been and taking you towards who you imagine yourself to be. So choose a phrase or a statement that describes the type of person or business person that you want to be in the future. And imagine that in your mind's eye and write it down. Journal some ideas of what would it feel like, what would it look like to be the ideal version of me. For example, you might say, I am a CEO who chooses growth and focus. And then your brain will learn to rewire that through repetition, emotion, and action. So what you want to do with that then is as soon as you have found the phrase that you're going to work with, then go back to that list and choose those activities and block out 10 minutes for just the first one. Because once you start to do the behavior that aligns with the identity statement, that's where the rewiring happens. It's not good enough to do one without the other, to just either do the work and then keep the identity, otherwise you get friction, or maybe you try and re-describe the identity without backing it up with proof. The brain's not going to believe you, and so it won't rewire. So you've got to do both. You've got to have the rewiring narrative of who you are going to become, who you're growing into, and then you've got to close the circle with that with an action that proves to the brain that this is in fact who we are. And the more frequently you do that with intention, the more quickly your identity will rewire itself. Okay, so are you ready for my 60-second reset that I give to my clients when they are in the middle of something that's suddenly triggered them or they need to focus quickly? So this is it. So do it with me because the more we practice things, the more the brain rewires itself. So let's do it together. So the first piece is something called a physiological sigh. We're going to have your body sigh out its stress. So take in a breath, a little breath, and then top it up. And then do a long exhale. Let's do that again. A small breath in, and then more, and then exhale. You should notice your body soften, your head perhaps feeling a little better, and then I want you to release that out of your body. So unclench your jaw, loosen your jaw, roll your shoulders, open your chest, and just gaze away into the distance somewhere ahead of you. And call to mind that phrase, I am the CEO who chooses focus and efficiency. And just sit with that thought. And imagine yourself doing the tasks. saying no to the things that steal and drain your energy, and saying yes to the things that create momentum and results in your business. These little shifts, if you do this every single day throughout the day, these are where the rewiring happens. In the same way that when you go to gym, it's the repetition of the exercise that changes the muscle structure. The repetition of these little shifts every day is going to rewire your neural pathways. And it's important that you do the breathing and then the visualization so that the brain is in a relaxed and receptive state. The amygdala is nice and quiet, and so that's when the neurogenesis and the rewiring can start. So, what's next? Well, the good news is that nothing's wrong with you. It's just wiring, and wiring, like your body and your muscles, can be changed. So, if you would like to do some work around rewiring for clarity and momentum and forward movement, then book a chemistry session with me. I've got a couple of spaces available next week, and I will help you develop a 3-point plan that gets you back into momentum again. I'm an ICF PCC accredited coach. I've been doing this for 17 years, and I have helped hundreds of women rewire their brains and their identity for success in business and in life. And if you're not ready to jump on a chemistry meeting with me and you're not ready for coaching, that's totally fine too. Just hit subscribe on the bottom of this video because I release one of these videos every single week, packed with value and tools and tips that you can implement yourself at home. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if there was a nugget you took away, type it in the comments below. I always love to hear what stood out for people in my work and in my videos. So remember this, when business feels hard, it's not you, it's your brain. It's just your wiring, and all of that can be worked on and you can move forward. I'll see you next week on the channel. Have a happy day.